Hello everyone. In this session I'll be discussing time domain specification in control system. Before explaining the time domain specification, let's study the importance of time domain specification. The first one is the desired performance characteristics of a control system are specified in terms of time domain specifications. Moreover, systems with energy storage elements such as inductor, capacitor, etc. in electrical system and spring, dashboard, etc. in mechanical system cannot respond simultaneously and will exhibit transient responses whenever they are subjected to inputs or disturbances. That is why we have to concentrate the time domain specification. Time domain specification. That means the transient response characteristics of a control system to a unit step input is specified in terms of time domain specification. These are the following time domain specification. Number one, delay time. It is represented by TD, then rise time TR, peak time TP, then maximum overshoot MP and settling time TS. These are the 5 time domain specification. Let us discuss individually. What do you mean by delay time? It is a time taken for the response to reach 50% of the final value for the very first time. So this is the response of a second order underdamped system. Now you can see what is a delay time. Delay time is the time taken to reach 50% of the final value. This is the position of the delay time. I can point out the delay time from the graph. So TD can be calculated manually by using the formula TD is equal to 1 plus 0.7 zeta divided by omega n. What is zeta? Zeta is nothing but damping ratio. So what do you mean by omega? Omega n is nothing but natural frequency of oscillation which is expressed in terms of radian per second. So this is the way how to calculate delay time manually. Now let me move on other specifications. The second one is known as rise time. It is represented by the letter TR. It is a time taken for the response to rise from 0 to 100% for the very first time. So rise time TR can be calculated by the formula pi minus theta divided by omega d. So what is omega d? Omega d is nothing but it is a damped frequency of oscillation. So if you know the natural frequency of oscillation and zeta, you can able to calculate damped frequency of oscillation. That means omega d is given by omega n into square root of 1 minus theta square. So let me ask one question. How do you calculate the theta? So you have to construct one right angle triangle. In that the base should be zeta and height should be square root of 1 minus theta square. Obviously the hypotenuse equal to 1. Therefore you can calculate tan theta. That means opposite side divided by adjacent side. From this you can able to calculate theta. Theta is equal to tan inverse of square root of 1 minus theta square divided by theta. So that means you can modify the first equation. Rise time TR is given by pi minus tan inverse of square root of 1 minus theta square divided by theta whole divided by omega n into square root of 1 minus theta square. It is expressed in terms of second. Now let me figure out where is the position of rise time in the graph. So this is actually the rise time. That means time taken to reach 0 to 100% for the very first time. So as you can see, so time taken to reach 100% for the very first time. That is known as rise time TR. Let me move on next parameter, that is peak time. How to calculate peak time? It is represented by the letter TP. So it is the time taken for the response to reach the peak value for the very first time. So it is a time taken to reach the peak value for the very first time. You can observe the peak time. This is TP. It is also expressed in terms of second. It can also be defined as the time taken for the response to reach the peak overshoot. So you can define in another manner in terms of peak overshoot. So this is the position of TP. You know how to calculate peak time. So peak time can be calculated by using the ratio between pi and omega d. That means TP is given by pi divided by omega d. So how to calculate omega d? If you know omega n and theta, you can able to calculate omega d. So omega d is given by omega n into square root of 1 minus theta square. Or else you can modify the equation. TP is equal to pi divided by omega n into square root of 1 minus theta square. So this is regarding peak time. So let me move on. Peak overshoot. It is defined as ratio of the maximum peak value to the final value, where the maximum peak value is measured from the final value. So this is the position of peak overshoot in the second order system. Now C of infinity is equal to final value of C of t. So this will be the C of infinity, final value of C of t. Then C of t is the maximum value of C of t that you can observe here. Then peak overshoot can be calculated by using the ratio C of Tp minus C of infinity divided by C of infinity, or else you can write in terms of percentage. That means C of Tp minus C of infinity divided by C of infinity into 100%. Similarly, you can calculate manually one equation, percentage overshoot, that means percentage MP, that is given by e to the power minus theta pi divided by square root of 1 minus theta square into 100%, where theta is known as damping ratio. If you know the value of damping ratio, you can easily calculate the value of peak overshoot. Now let me move on. The fifth time domain specification, that is settling time TS. It is defined as time taken by the response to reach and stay within a specified error. That specified error will be to either 2% or 5%. It is also called as it is also known as one of the tolerance band. Now you can calculate the settling time by using the formula. For 2% error, you can calculate the settling time, that is equal to 4 divided by theta into omega n. Or else you can write 4 into t, where t is known as 1 by theta omega n. So that is why you can write 4 into t. So this is applicable for 2% error. Now let us consider for 5% error. So settling time Ts is given by 3 by zeta into omega n, or else you can write 3 multiplied by t, where t is known as 1 by zeta omega n. It is applicable for 5% error. Now let us locate where is settling time. So consider either 2% or 5% band. So here you can mention the settling time. So this will be the end of the transient period. You can observe that this is the end of the transient period. So this is regarding settling time. So this is the way how to calculate settling time. So today we have discussed about what do we mean by time domain specification and what are the different type of time domain specifications. Thank you for watching this video.